Hello, this is a video about shoulder pain. So I have to take my clothes off to demonstrate. So it depends where the pain is. There are a number of points around the shoulder. There are a limited number of points to use, and you don't have to use all of them. It just depends where the problem is. So the points on the front of the shoulder, if you lift your arm forward like this, up, it's easier to see. You can see this shadow here. This makes it unclear, but up to this point, if you lift it, you can see there's a line here. This is the separation of the shoulder muscle and the chest muscle, deltoid and pectoral, if you want to be Latin. So one of the major points for the shoulder is at the top of this ditch, just below the bone, the clavicle. There's one point there, just underneath. Then if you come down about one thumb's width down, 2 fingers down, there's one there. In fact, if you see this crease of the armpit, halfway between the clavicle and the crease of the armpit in the front shoulder ditch, is a very useful point there. So what you could do is just find the ditch by raising the arm. You don't need to be able to see it, you can also feel it. But if you can't feel it, raise your arm and you ever feel this cleft. You can just feel along there and see where it hurts and press that. Another important point for the shoulder is, instead of raising forward, you raise to the side the arm. You can't see this clearly, but you can feel it. So when you raise the arm to the side, this muscle is tensed. So you can see it's like a mountain here. And when you run your hand down, when it stops being soft and muscly and gets to the bone, that's where that muscle ends. Just where that muscle ends and is attached to the bone, there's a point there, often tender on the side. Then there are two important points in a ditch. Not quite like this, is more like a canal. These are more like pools, 2 small pools. When you lift your shoulder to the side again, you can see, on me you can see the front one, the pool, the shadow, the dimple. There is one behind, and I don't know if you can see it in this light. Maybe not. Maybe not. But that's the front one. The back one is just when you put your finger in the front one and move backwards, you feel a ridge of muscle here. When you get over the ridge of muscle, the other point is just there. So these are 2 important points. They look like this. This is where they are. These 2 very important points for pain in the front of the shoulder, pain in the back of the shoulder. These 2. There is one, this is difficult to demonstrate, but the crease of the armpit here in the back, there is a point just a couple of fingers above the end of the crease there. Not a very common point for shoulder pain, but it's available. Lastly, in my experience, when all else fails, there's a point here on the shoulder, and this is a place where everybody gets tense in their shoulder, and this is where everybody loves to have a massage. This point here, even if the pain in the shoulder is, let's say, here, this point here is often, when I've tried these and it hasn't worked, I often find that using this releases everything. And I think the reason is often people get shoulder pain because they become psychologically tense. When they become psychologically tense, this muscle contracts and the whole shoulder girdle, as you can see, raises up. And then when they try and do cooking, chopping, whatever, writing, because the shoulder girdle is raised into an unnatural position, it has to work at an angle it's not used to, and therefore it gets injured. So the way to find this point, this is going to be hard to show. There is in the back of the neck a large, if you lean your head forward, there is a vertebra that sticks out, but I don't think that's practical for most people. The thing to do, you can see the top of the ridge of the muscle with this shadow here. You can feel the highest point. It sort of goes like that, the highest point. You can come up from the tip of the shoulder. Some people have a little bone here. Come up, up, press up until you find along this ridge, till you find the tenderest point. It's there on me. So it's about halfway up from here to the middle of the neck, behind the middle of the neck. So maybe you could see it like this, from here to here, roughly where my knuckle is. Here. And I think that's, for most shoulder problems, that is effective. If that is still not sufficient, you can try and push these famous points on the hand. Which you see in Kung Fu films. I don't know if I should show this or not, but basically, you see between this knuckle and the base of the thumb. No. Okay, no, I'll leave that out. Let me leave that out for now.